Welcome everybody, it's tractorchute here, and we got ourselves a little venture to GrandMaster to start the day off. In the upper middle portion of this map of Polar Nights, it will be Nexius, the man we are following, playing as the Red Protoss. In the lower middle portion of the map, it is his opponent, playing for Team TSan. It will be Veniar. Should be a pretty decent game here. I did do a couple tests there, because I got a new headset. I've been using that funny microphone I explained in one of the earlier videos there. But I got a new headset the other day, came in via UPS there. So I'm trying it out today. It sounded almost, I don't know if you call it distorted or unclear. So I'm testing. If it doesn't work, I'm going to go pick up a new one on the weekend. Like I'll go buy a high-end one down at the Future Shop or something like that there. But let me know how the videos sound, if they sound any different or worse or whatever it may be, and I shall solve that problem this weekend when I have some time. Alright, looks like we're going to get the good old standard wall off out of Veniar. In the meantime there, Nexius, he is just getting the standard old gateway out there. As you can take a look here, we can take a look at the APM tabs. Right, pretty high, both of them pretty average in this one. It goes pretty even. So yeah, both these guys are fairly decent so far. Nobody's looking to do any sort of early scouting. It is only the 2-minute mark, so I'd have to imagine they're going to start scouting around the 3 to 4 minute mark. It does have the one gas for Nexius going down though, so fairly interesting there. Getting a little bit early of a gas. In the meantime, his opponent is still continuing with that standard wall off with his first gas coming as well. Gas will finish just before the barracks. Usually going to lead to an early Reaper or early reactor at the very least. Sorry about that. Forgive me, I've been drinking lots of milk lately. I've been feeling good lately. I don't know why. And I always find milk is my cure. I don't know what it is. I'm a huge fan of milk. A lot of people don't like milk nowadays. I don't know why. Growing up, that's all I ever used to drink was milk. It was one of my main drinks there. Well, water mainly, but milk outside of that, I would drink, probably 1 to 2 full glasses a day of a decent sized glass. Just enjoy my milk very much. So I've been drinking a ton of that these last few days, trying to get to feel a little bit better anyways. Does look like the first scout for Nexius will be a Nexus. Fairly interesting there. A Nexus, a Z-Lot. That would be pretty sweet if you could scout with the Nexus. Anyways, at the other end there, yes, he is going to get a good old Reaper here as expected. So that Reaper will be heading out across the map. That is going to be his first choice of scout. Looks like the Z-Lot's going to stop at the Naga Tower. Relax there for a bit while he gets his second Z-Lot friend. And then from there, I imagine both Z-Lots will go in to do a little bit of scouting. Looks like Veniar is going to expand fairly early for a Terran to expand. We are only sitting at the 4-minute mark, but not overly early, but he is expanding right there. It's not even a macro command center then fly to expand. He's actually going to expand right in the spot, so very interesting. There we go with the Stalker. It does look like Nexius is going fairly heavy on the units early. Wilds are just pumping units out here, chrono boosting like crazy, almost like he wants to do a quick push here. But of course the Stalker should easily be able to take care of that Reaper harass, so Reaper does end up flying down the cliff and getting out of there right away. In the meantime there, Nexius sends in his 2 Z-Lots. He's going to go to work. He's going to get a couple SCV kills here quite easily. Very well done there to stop the bunker from going down. And we'll probably go to work and get the cancel. Yes, he does. And now he's going to go to work on the one building the command center. And we'll get the cancel out of that too as well. So why not? You can't really get enough units out. But he does have a reactor now, so he can finally start spitting out some good old Marines here, which should be able to deal with this. Does look like a mothership core is coming down as well for Nexius. And we will just go back to building the command center right in the base. Fairly standard there. Realized that it didn't quite work getting the nice early one out right in position, so he will get the macro one out and fly it into position once that finishes building there. In the meantime there, Nexius is finally looking to get his expansion out. Very well done there. And is still riding himself on 1 gate, 1 core. So yeah, not looking too bad so far. Are going to get a little bit of warp gate technology with this fairly decent. In the meantime there, he's going to do a little bit of micro back and forth here. See if he can get up there. He's got a full bunker. Should easily be able to fend that off. Command center is slowly going to finish there. Mule drops are coming down as well. He's only working himself off of 1 barracks. So fairly interesting there as well. I don't know if I mentioned. No, I don't think I did. Yesterday there, I got on there and I don't know, I'm a pretty casual watcher of people that stream on Twitch. Like I say, I'll do it every now and then. I watch Nexius quite a bit there, and a few other ones there. Idra was online, believe it or not, if anybody's ever heard of him. He's funny. He's one of those little angered people. He gets really mad when he loses. Blames everything on the world, I lose, he gets all mad and blames Blame's either OP, imbalance, whatever it may be. You know, you can't beat the guy clean. I don't think anybody's ever beat him clean to where he's accepted it as an actual loss without blaming the game or blaming some sort of cheese that his opponent did. So anyway, he was on there and he's quite funny. So it didn't matter whether he won or lost. If he won, he would write a cocky comment in there. It is serious. Like, there was never ever any GG at the end. Indra would always write something in his case. I thought it was funny, and I know it's probably been mentioned many times or used many times, but I always thought it was funny. He had this one game going there, and the guy kind of went mass stalker, and he kind of had Indra down for a little bit of the game there, but Indra came back and ended up winning the game. And just before he's about to win, he wrote uninstall. That was one of the funniest little quick one-liners there, uninstall. I enjoyed that very much, made me laugh. But he did pretty decent, man. About 50%, I guess, so not too bad for wins and losses there. But outside of that there, yeah, that was about it. Did that. I always watch streaming while I work, so I got it on mute and I'll just watch it. As I told Nexius too, when he's streaming there, a lot of times I can't hear him because I just have it on mute there. But by the way, we'll get back to the game here. Nobody's really doing anything. It's a fairly macro heavy game, so we are getting the expansion done there. He does have the good old bunker finally going on to the expansion area there. It does look like Nexius has himself a established expansion anyways. No gases on it as of yet. In the meantime there, we are going to start pumping some buildings out. Has worked himself into a 3-gate robo type build here, and is going right to Twilight Council. So not to imagine he's going to run right into Blink Stalker. More than likely, but might go Zealot legs as well. Get them both. We'll soon find out what he's going to choose to do. So there, both gases are going down. Got himself his couple sentries out for his defense, and also has an observer on the map. So now he can start getting a little bit of scouting. Both these guys each own their Naga tower, so they kind of come to a mutual agreement here. They're like, okay, you take that, I'll take that. Let's not piss each other off. We both have the vision we want. Good, fair enough. So that's the little treaty they're going to abide by too. There, it does look like the only one refinery going down there. Opponent has supply blocked himself, and this is not the first time I've seen him supply block himself this game. Very surprising for one of the higher level players to do so. This player that Nexius is playing, if I recall, I believe he was actually Diamond. I don't think he is an actual Masters player, but I could be wrong. Those colors sometimes they vary on me. I know they're blue and green, but I quickly glanced at it while it was loading there. I was paying attention to my dog who was being a dick at the time there. So I do believe that he was a Diamond player though. But either way, I don't want to take anything away from Nexius if he does pull the win off here. So there we go. We do have the good old Widow Mines. I do love Widow Mine drops. They're so hard to defend, especially if you don't have the vision down there. So he does get the one dropped off there. He's going to look to get into the other base here, see if he can get that one dropped off as well. The one that he did drop off, the one did survive there. So he's going to do a quick little flyby. We'll burrow that baby in the background here. Nice little burrow there, but does have the observer right there. Gets one shot off there. Didn't really do a whole lot of damage. So next he's prepared for anything like that to happen there. So he fends that off quite easily. Very minimal losses for him, I will say that much. Yeah, if we take a look here, as you can see, they're even for losses as far as mineral count goes, 5 to 4 as far as unit count goes there for loss. In the meantime there, we do have our resting SCV. Just taking a little bit of break by the bunker. They're probably chatting with him through the little window that bunker has in it. I'm pretty confident that's what happens there. Do have the upgrades coming as well here. Do have the 1-1 going, so very well done for our good old opponent of Veniar. In the meantime there, we are going ground weapon level 1 and ground armor level 1 here. In the meantime, we are blowing the crap out of these rocks here. I was kind of wondering where that noise was coming from. It looks like he's going to take these rocks down and grab his natural third there, and that will get him a nice little comfy lead in the macro game so far here. In the meantime there, next he's got a little bit of an army. He's got himself a few zealots, a few sentries at the same time here. Hasn't worked in anything. Oh, he did build 2 more gateways, sorry. So has himself up to 5 gates. Double forge down now. And he actually elected to go zealot lag, so did not end up going with his good old blink stalker. And he takes the other third at his end there. So not going to take the same third that his opponent is. But he will take over that sentry tower quite easily there. So very well done by Nexius. In the meantime there, his opponent is getting down there. He's going to blow up these second set of rocks here, putting himself down a turret in the back of the mineral line as well. So very well done there. If we take a good old look up here, it does look like Nexius has not changed anything here. A little bit surprising. Don't really have any stargates. Working 5 gate on 2 base. A little bit different. Usually Nexius runs the gateways a little bit harder there, but maybe waiting to get his third up and established there. Twilight Council is going to get himself some blink eventually, I would have to imagine, but not as of yet. Do have our Templar Archives out. Third is just about finished up there. Is going to go try to get the Naga Tower one more time, but now he's actually got a Marauder there, so something a little bit tougher, but the Zealot comes in, that should easily chase the Marauder out of there. In the meantime, we are going to get another good old drop. It looks like he's got himself 8 Marines. They're ready to go up there. Over here we do have our Observer. Observer knows what's going on. He sees it's pure Marine Marauder. He sees his opponent's a little bit turtled up here to a certain degree. But at the same time there, he is starting to get some Vikings out on the field here, so very well done there. They're having a little bit of a battle here for this Naga Tower here. Apparently nobody really wants to give up the Naga Towers. But Nexius will, of course, win that. Opponent is forced to retreat there. Still has his medevac sitting up there, not flying it in quite as of yet, but it looks like it is back on the move there. A few more Zealots down on the lower ground here. So we will fly ourselves into the base here. Let's see what kind of damage he's going to end up doing. We do have 3 cannons going down there. Don't think they're going to go down in time here. Oh, he's going to drop right in there. That ain't going to work at all. He's going to actually blow this away here, so Nexius will be forced. Oh, doesn't cancel. He's going to let him finish. I don't know if that was a good move there. But it looks like it might work out for him there. Loses all 3 in the end, but still they delayed the opponent long enough there for him to get his Zealots in there. A little bit more of a stim goes off there. Photon overcharge goes down. That should be the finish of it. Quits micro and at that point realizes he can't save it. But in the meantime, the opponent is countering. He's going in there. He looks like he's going to get the third of Nexius taken down there. Should be able to focus it if he chooses to do so and not lean off it. And that's exactly what he does. Takes a few losses in the background there, picks up the remaining and flies him out of there. Very good job by Veniar. In the meantime there, I would like to see him get that command center down, which he's finally doing, so we will fly one over there, get it landed. Very well done there. And up here, Nexius has himself pretty much a fully saturated second base. Still got that third base reestablished one more time here. And in the meantime, their opponent is slowly retreating himself out of there. Observer is still sitting over the base there. I don't know if it's gone undetected or just disregarded altogether there. Does himself a nuclear silo, so might start getting a little bit serious here. Could elect to get some nukes here eventually. Let's take a look. Does he have any nukes as of yet? No, he doesn't. I guess we could just look right here too. No, he does not have any nukes, so no nukes on the map here, but we are going to get ourselves into a good old Hellbat type game here, so very interesting. Opponent's got lots of options here. In the meantime there, Nexius is stacking up on the Zealots, looking pretty good there. And there we go, High Templars, we're going right to Archons. Very, very convenient when you're playing against Marine Marauder with that splash damage. In the meantime there, it looks like the opponent is ready to move out one more time as he is establishing his army right outside the base there with his few Vikings in there. Vikings, I'm still a little bit curious as to what the Vikings were for. Probably preempting the Colossi, which is usually pretty standard for people that play against Marine Marauder, which wasn't the case this time. So those Vikings aren't going to do him a whole heck of a lot of good, I'll tell you that much. He's going to get him a couple more bunkers out here, starting to wall off a little bit further out. And move himself back and forth here. Not too sure if he's looking to move out at this point or not. Meanwhile, Nexius is sitting himself on 1-1 for upgrades, so upgrades aren't looking too bad. Opponent's sitting himself on 2-2, so definitely got the advantage in the upgrade game here. One Reaper is over here doing a little bit of harassment. He gets himself surrounded, so he won't end up getting out of there. He'll end up going down to the probe, smacked around like a little bitch in the background. Over here, we are going to move ourselves out. It does look like here. Grabs a hold of that Naga Tower. Going to determine whether or not he wants to go down and try and kill that third again. And that is going to be his choice. He is going to push himself down there. See what kind of damage you can do. We do have a few cannons there. They're going to go to work there. Vikings taking the brunt of that damage. And he ends up retreating right out of there when he sees all the Archons and the rest of Nexius' army there. So apparently did not want anything to do with that. So we'll get himself right out of there and establish himself right up by the Naga Tower, just outside the Naga Tower. In the meantime there, Nexius is slowly getting himself up a fairly good Archon count. Has himself up to 4 Archons. And massive on the ground, 216 Zealots. So that's quite a heavy Zealot count here. He's going to elect to push himself up here. In the meantime, their opponent does move himself slowly back to the base there and was looking to put out another macro command center to fly that baby off at some point in time. And he has his third up and running, and there's a fairly healthy amount of SCVs on there with the 10. He's going to slowly keep moving himself back and forth here. See where the engagement's going to happen here. Nexius does move his army up there. That should either force the opponent back, or the opponent actually wants it. He likes that battle there, so he's actually going to engage us. Nexius doesn't really feel comfortable with it, or he wants to get back to his cannons. It's going to be one of those two options. And he's going to continue to get pushed back there, so very well done there. And finally, Zealot legs are going to kick in. They're just going to go right at her, see who's going to win this battle, doing a little bit of micro back and forth here. Gets the stim off. Don't think it's going to be enough. Nexius should be able to clean this up quite easy. That's a fairly heavy Marauder count. Maybe not, actually. That, I don't know, man. I'm going to call that pretty even there. Opponent's going to continue to keep the high ground there. I thought, you know, in the end, Nexius might have been able to take it, but with that continued stutter stepping, it probably wouldn't have worked out. I really don't know how to call that one. Would have been very close in the end. Well, let's put it that way. So both these guys will come to a little bit of a stalemate for a bit. Nexius is up to his 2-2 now for his upgrade, so looking pretty skookum there. In the meantime, back at his base there, has he teched on anything? Nope, he has masked up on the gateways, so he's definitely got a very heavy gateway and doubled the robo, and is finally going to Colossi. As you can see there, has the upgrade coming, and a couple Colossi already on the field, so looking pretty good here. His opponent in the meantime is probably going to continue Marine Marauder. Let's see here. Oh, we'll just skip over that right away there. Yes, we are going with the Medivacs. Yeah, so not teching out of it, but is starting to get to a little bit heavier of a Hellbats there. As you can see, he's got 3 Hellbats, a couple more on the go. So looks like we will get into a nice little Hellbat build out of the opponent. Meanwhile, Nexius making sure he's got his proxies ever. Very good map vision, but it looks like we got something going on over here. We got a drop happening. Is actually going to lose just before the upgrade finishes. Oh, that sucks. I mean that, not being sarcastic. That sucks. Almost had his upgrade for his... I believe that would have been weapons level 3 that was going on there. So that was too bad there. So ends up losing that right at the very end there. So we'll have to rebuild either another forge or wait for his level 3 on the armor to finish before he can get his weapons going there. In the meantime there, we'll take a look down here. It does look like Nexius is pulling a little bit of his army back here. Not entirely sure why. I guess he wanted to deal with the small little drop, but he elected to warp in a couple of Zealots, and they'll do just as good of a job to defy that drop as well. Do have himself another DT. Looks like DTs have entered the field. I don't have very many of them, just the one standing here. So I don't know if that one's more or less there to delay that expansion, or just make sure if it does go down, you can take a kill on a few of the good old SCVs. So not too bad of an idea. Definitely isn't a waste. We'll see whether or not he elects to continue to push with a few more DTs to start doing drops. Late game DTs are very handy to start dropping them in there. It does force your opponent to make sure he has detection and is paying attention to his expansions a little bit closer than he would to a normal type of drop. So DTs late game are always a good option for Protoss. There we go. Does look like Nexius is going to elect to get into his 4th, so looking pretty good there. In the meantime there, they have spotted a proxy, so we'll try and take that down. And it looks like the DT is going to go to work here. He's going to chase that Marauder down just for fun, try and take him out. In the meantime there, it does look like our opponent is just going to kind of sit back for a little bit. Still has a few Vikings on the field, has himself up to full upgrades, so definitely got the upgrades going. I will say that is an advantage he's had in this game. He's been a little bit ahead in the upgrades throughout here. Not by much, but by a tiny little bit there. Meantime there, we're going to get a few more cannons as well to guard that 4th. But the opponent at the same time also has himself out a 4th here. So a little bit ahead in the macro game. Take a look at the income tab. It actually shows fairly even, to be honest with you. Blue's up by a little bit here, but then goes up and down as those mules dissipate there. And is way down in the gas, surprisingly enough. Not that he's going very heavy gas with Marine Marauder. So we could probably sit this baby back there. Relax for a bit, as both these guys just going fairly macro heavy. Nobody's really going at her too early. So it's been more of a relaxation game, I'll say that. A little push here and there, but nobody's overextending themselves by no means here. But finally, the opponent does look like he's ready to move out. Still getting that Viking count up, which is now actually going to help him, which is kind of decent. So maybe it wasn't a waste of money and gas there in the end there. So we'll be able to take out some of these Colossi, hopefully with him, depending how he gets them in there. As you can see, we do have Stargates coming on the field. So we are tech switching for Nexius, going to get into the air. Opponent continuing to build more Vikings and get some more Hellbats on the field here, and is also getting cloaks. So looks like we might finally get a use out of his Ghost Academy at some point. As you can hear, there was a scan going down, and it does look like the Planetary is going to go down very quickly. Oh, Nexius doesn't like it as the army comes in at the same time. Probably a good idea to retreat there. He's going to continue beating on him. Don't know if it's going to be enough with that Planetary going at him here and all the repairing guys. And looks like the Archers are trying to go to work, but just not going to be enough. Just too much of this Marine Marauder army. Vikings are really going to work on the Colossi here, doing a fairly decent job. Over here, we're trying to take out the Planetary. Oh, that's got to be a piss off. Loses his whole army. Really doesn't accomplish anything other than losing the small lead he had in food. So that kind of sucks. But in the meantime, he has sent a few more over here. They're going to do a little bit of damage to the SCVs. We'll force the army back. But in the end there, I will honestly say Veniar came out ahead on that one. Looking pretty good. Didn't lose himself the Planetary by no means, and ended up winning the engagement. So very good job by Veniar. Will force Nexius to slowly rebuild his army one more time here. Has enough gateways to do so, but like I say, he was tech switching, so he was kind of ready to get out of that build, I would have to imagine, but he's still building Colossi. Nothing out of the Stargates as of yet, so has 3 of them, so has the option. We'll soon find out if that is going to be his build, going right to Fleet Beacon, so maybe he has no reason to get the rest of the units out of that Stargate, Voids, or Oracles, or anything like that, so might just select to go straight into Tempest or Carriers. And we are slowly beating his army down one more time here. This Marine Marauder army truly they're just a force to be reckoned with in this game here, doing a lot of damage. Now they're going to try and get in here. Has himself only 2 pylons powering these, so he's going to go, he's just going to go right for the cannons. Why not? So we'll take all this and should be able to take out this base quite easily. I don't think there's much Nexius can do. So that will finish off the 4th and put Nexius well behind the minerals, I would have to imagine. Now, as far as the macro game goes, let's take a look here. It's still, like I say, surprisingly closer than what I thought it would be. Opponent's a little bit surprising with his SCV count. I mean, he's only at 42, and I realize you can do mules, but you still got to keep a decent SCV count up there. You're really losing out in the macro game here. You know, at best, he's been even with the mule count, helping him out there. Of course, the good old observer is set to follow that army, so Nexius always has an eye on exactly where his opponent is. In the meantime, if you take a look up here, he's got a couple wandering zealots sitting in the background. And this army's about to head up here. There he goes. Now he sees the Tempest shots there, so he knows the Tempests are on the field. Does end up getting a medevac kill there. He gets right back down there. And it looks like the Vikings want to go to work here. They know there's some air over there, so now they know they have a job to get done there. And we'll just try and push our way through here, see what kind of damage we can do. And yeah, ends up taking out actually a gateway there, forcing Nexius back over here. Vikings are just going to town here though. Wowzer! Got nothing but free reign on the Colossi here. Not much you can do. The Tempests are trying to help out here, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. He's really going to work on those Colossi. It does look like he's got enough Archons to help this out here, so finishes off the rest of the Colossi, and we'll try to go work on the good old Tempest. Realize there's way too many cannons there, so is forced to retreat out of there. And it looks like Nexius will fend this off quite easily. Now he comes out to a lead in that engagement, so Nexius winning. So we're 1-1 in the 1-1 in the big engagements. Anyways, the ones that have least finished themselves out. Let's see, the no upgrades for the air. Very, very interesting there. Nexius, in the meantime, is electing to start getting into air upgrades. Not as of yet. Not committed enough to the air to make it worth it. Does have his 3-3 out. Is going to elect to put another base down here, so why not? That will be his 5th as he's reestablishing the 4th over here. So not too bad. Gets his bases right back up and running right away. That'll definitely be very, very handy. Opponent, in the meantime, is putting himself out his 6th, it looks like here, as the 5th is over here. Wowzer, yeah, so opponent definitely getting macro heavy. Pretty much got half the map taken over at this point. There's Nexius, moves the whole army down there. We got one Marine standing down there for no reason. Don't know if he was beating on the rocks, so it looks like he was beating on the Z-Lot there. So it does look like he will take out that one little Marine nice and easy, but opponent in the meantime there has scouted it, knows that expansion isn't going down, and he's going to fly over here where the good old proxy pylon's actually going to see him here, so he will land that command center. Let Nexius know that he does have a base over here. Not that that means a whole lot at this point when you have bases halfway across the map. Each of them know that they have their opponents sitting on at least 3 to 4 base at the very least, so like I say, not a whole lot of intel that's going to give them. Got a few more Archons hitting the map here. That will put us up to a count of 6 Archons. So very Archon heavy, and with all the upgrades, Archons are really a force to be reckoned with, but they don't have the shield upgrades, which is the only crappy part. So to have to manage shield upgrades are going to become fairly quickly. Let's take a look. Not as of yet, surprisingly enough, no shield upgrades, especially with the heavy Archon count. You would have thought the shield upgrades would be a little bit higher. Meanwhile, one Zealot, he's kind of going to work there. He's not really going to do a whole heck of a lot. Beating on there for fun. And it looks like the Cloak Ghost. Is it time? We don't have any nukes on the map. What are we doing with them? Apparently we're just going to move them up there, and they might go look to do a little bit of sniping, a little EMP. Who knows? But he has them all by themselves, so he must have some form of plan with these good old ghosts. We'll soon find out what he wants to do with those babies anyways here. You know, I'm kind of feeling like I might actually do another game this morning too here. We'll soon find out here. More than likely I'll pump one up here. I do have to go to work pretty quick here, but I should have enough time to upload them. There he is, actually going to go to work. We'll get a free base kill. There's nothing Nexius can do about that, so it does end up losing. Really had a heck of a time trying to get an expansion up on this location. His opponent's just all over here. We're going to go to work here. Zealots are just getting in there. Now he might want to get out of there. Nexius, I think, is too overbearing. He's got enough of those Archons here to really go to work. Does end up getting one more kill on the Colossi, so very well done there. And we'll be forcing the retreat on both of them decide to retreat there. In all honesty, I probably would have given that battle to Nexius in the end. Just too heavy on the Archon count. So probably a good idea that the opponent ended up getting out of there. But either way, they both would have lost majority of their armies, that's for darn sure. So we did land ourselves down another base here. So we're sitting 2, 4, 6, and 7 bases for the opponents here. Nexius is ready to go out here. He's kind of hovering around the middle of the map, kind of hovering around that Naka Tower. A couple ghosts in there. They get a couple of EMP shots off there. I believe they did anyways, says their energy did go down. or a couple snipes, not entirely sure what they lost here. And they're going to continue going to work. Here we go. It looks like the engagement is going to happen here finally. He's got the high ground, so Nexius has a bit of an advantage, although we do have the air for the other team, so he does have the vision up there anyways. And a couple more scans there. Is chasing him right down here. Good warp in there. That's going to be a lot of Zealots coming in there. And we are going to go to work. Zealots with Zealot legs are going to pump their way in there. Viking count is just massive, man. He is just cleaning up the air units, cleaning up the Colossi. No more Colossi left. It is pure Archon and Zealot going at her now here. They're going to continue to go to work. And it's Tempest on Viking. And you know who's going to win that one? Tempest just a brute on the Vikings. I will tell you that much. Just so many hit points, so much damage. They are just brutes when that happens. Very well done there. Does force the retreat out of both of them. In the end there, Nexius maintained himself anyways, still holding about a 20 food count lead there. Meantime, we do have our good old orbital, it's planetary heading down over there. So we got planetary going down. Will like to get himself out a few workers at some point in time over here, at least an SCV transfer. Does look like Nexius is going to start pumping a little bit more towards the middle here. Does have himself up to the 1 upgrade for his weapons, so looking pretty good there. Still nothing on the shields. Like I say, very surprising, especially with that Archon count there. You would like to see the shield upgrade, because it would definitely make a huge difference for those Archons. In the meantime, there he is trying to get this base re-established one more time. He's had a heck of a time the entire game trying to get that base established. And we are actually going to look to put a little bit of a push on there anyways. Does the scan, make sure he knows exactly where Nexius is going. Make sure that he's continually backing up here. And yeah, he's just going to sit down at the bottom and relax himself here with 136 to 154. Has himself very heavy on the Marines, I will say that much. Got himself up to 31 Marines, 7 Marauders, and 6 Ghosts. And it looks like he has some form of a plan. He's got medevacs full that are going to go over here and try and fend this off with the planetary. Don't know if that's going to work overly well for him, but he'll try it out anyways here. Oh, he's going to lose a full medevac. That really didn't do him a whole lot of good. And Tempest is going to go to work on this planetary for free. But the army's not going to let that happen. Looks like they're going to head in here. So Veniar is going to try and put some pressure on. Nexius elects to retreat there, takes a couple shots, a little bit of micro with those Tempests, or at least the best amount of micro you can do with the Tempest, which isn't a whole heck of a lot, but do that movement speed, but they try their best, you know. Gets a couple more shots off there, Vikings end up retreating, and we will both sit back and relax for a little bit longer here. But Nexius continuing, well, wants to go right back again there. Oh, maybe not. He was just doing a little bit of movement, a little bit of scurry, shuffle. Ghosts go in and out there. Wouldn't mind seeing a little bit of a nuke out of him. Just to pique my interest in that Ghost Academy. I always say when you get a Ghost Academy, you have to get nukes, alright? You have to. You can't just get can't just use them for EMP and snipe. You gotta get your nukes. That is what that Ghost Academy was built off of in the older StarCraft. They allow you to get ghosts to use nukes, alright? So he will continue to push his opponent right back here to control the middle of the map to a certain degree. I will give Nexius that much. In the meantime there, probably going to get myself out my good old morning dip. Haven't had my morning dip yet. That is good and good for you, I'll tell you that much. I will tell you that much. Nexius like to move himself back toward the middle of that map there. Gonna see what he can do. That's right, dips, they give me a little bit of an accent sometimes. No, I'm just kidding. Get himself off a couple more shots there. I would love to see a range upgrade for Tempest. That'd be freaking sick. If they don't have enough range already, give him a little bit more of a range here. But he's going to catch him on the backside, or at least try his very best. He's going to try to get it in on a bit of an angle here. Gets caught with the Archons. A lot of those Vikings going down right away here. That's going to be a lot of trouble, leaving those Tempests free to go to work. Obviously, Tempests don't do a lot to Marine Marauder because they're so massive amounts of them there. But when you have a massive amount of Tempests like this, they do a lot of damage. I will say that much here. Look at them go. It actually makes a big difference. So very well done there. So basically takes everything out except for the Tempest. Not much you can do. Tempests are just too much range, too many hit points, not even worth engaging. And does finish off the planetary. So that's a win for Nexius. Very well done there. Nexius is looking pretty good here. I will say that much. He is continuing to maintain about that 20 food count there. But this time he's actually got himself a kill on one of the bases. Meanwhile over here he hasn't really established this base. He's been over here for a very long time. Has himself 2 workers on it. Nexius in the meantime also mined out there. But at his bases, at least he's got workers on everyone. You know what I mean? Like, he's been really keeping the worker count up, other than the fact that these guys are standing here. Alright, Nexius, we caught you after we're complimenting all your great job of keeping good peasant count. You end up letting me down. What do you got there? 8, 15 probes there taking a little bit of a break. Realize you're paying attention over here, but don't give too much of a break, my good man. Get yourself mined a little bit more. Your mineral count isn't all that high to be allowing that many probes to sit there. So I imagine they will have to get a little bit of a probe transfer. Or maybe even look to expand over here and take over this base now. It doesn't look like, no, he's still going to relax them over there. Maybe he hasn't realized they are there. Probably a lot going on, especially when you're running yourself off a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 base. Hard to pay attention to where all your probes are. Next he's going to go in with the long-range units here. Going to take the Tempest out. See what guy damage they can do. He does have 8 of them here, so looking pretty good with the Tempest count. Has 11 altogether. Where the hell are the rest of them? Oh, they're probably, there they are, flying in there with the few Colossi. And, oh, doesn't quite get caught out of position. Tempests are just so slow. The last thing you want to do is get them too far out of your army. And now it looks like it is engagement time. He's got the Colossi count up. Might look pretty good. Needs to get those Tempests back there so they can use that range. Archons are really going to work with their splash damage here. Like I said, I wouldn't mind seeing a shield upgrade for them. Would have definitely been very, very handy. Oh, he did get 1. Okay, sorry. You do have 1 for the shield upgrade, but the Tempest count is just massive. And he's pretty much got nothing left but Marauders. Marauders aren't going to do a whole heck of a lot here, so we'll be forced to retreat and bring in the Zealots in just for reinforcements there. Takes out another medevac. Why not? Takes out another Marauder at the same time, too, so looking pretty good there. I would have to say Nexius pulls, I don't know, fairly even, but he's still getting that Nexus count. Is just too much for his opponent. Hasn't really found a way to deal with these Nexuses yet. Maybe, I don't, like I said, I'm not too sure. I don't know the best counter to a Tempest. I would almost have to say, I mean, this is probably a good counter, getting a ton of Marines out with a good compilation of other units. But at the same time, you got to get that engagement angle, you know. You have to be able to get up to him, get right underneath him with a good stem. In the meantime, they're just losing a ton of units, these Tempests. They're really proven to be some sort of a burden for him. Bringing in a few more Zealots here. Looks like Nexius is slowly starting to push himself into the opponent here. His opponent might be starting to run out of minerals at some point, I would have to imagine. Well, actually, not looking too bad. Okay, fair enough. Is pretty much mined out everywhere on the back end, but still has 2 very healthy bases there. Nexius, in the meantime, they're very healthy there. Fairly healthy there. Nothing. Okay, so fairly even as far as what their base count goes. Like I say, this will be the base that everybody's going to be looking for now. And Nexius will be the first one to take a shot at it since it's been vacant for a little while there. Opponent couldn't hold on to it, so Nexius will take his shot at defending this. Meanwhile, opponent probably has to realize that that base has been taken. We'll probably look to push over that way at some point in time. In the meantime, there, Nexius does have an observer over here, so is well aware of where his opponent's army is. And is compiling himself up to a 155 army, gets himself a few more Archons in there again. Now has himself, like I said earlier, up to the 1 armor on the shields. And number 2 should be coming fairly quickly, I would have to imagine. Let's take a look at this good old prototype. Not as of yet, but he is electing to go into the air armor, so a very good choice there. Why not? You got enough Tempests on the map to make it worth it. There we go, finally! If he has to, everybody, I know, even the higher leagues, you watch them a lot. They'll watch their own replays to see where they went wrong. And that, although being a very minor mistake, not getting those probes going anywhere, definitely a mistake to have them idle for that long. And I'm sure that that's something you'll look at. Probably not the first time, nor the last time it's going to happen. So he does keep the scanning going there, and he's going to push himself out. Feels pretty comfortable with his Marine Marauder army. Got himself a few more Vikings on the map again one more time to try and use those to get rid of those Tempests. In the meantime, you see the big train of probes going while their base builds. There you go, it is established. Going to give himself down a couple of simulators at the same time. I was actually watching StarCraft 1 the other yesterday there during work while I was watching Twitch there. It was kind of neat to go back in time and watch some of those pro games happen again there. I don't know if they're pissing around, but that looked like pretty good games. Here we are, we're going to go at it. You see, it was the Mass Hydra in the one of the games there. Mass Hydras used to be so, it almost felt they were so OP back in Brood War there. It was very neat to see the Mass Hydras just go at it, just massacred in the Protoss army. It looks like Nexius is looking for something over here. He seems to be going back and forth there. Widow Mine over there? No Widow Mine. Not too sure what he's looking for. Maybe there's a medevac over there. Oh, there was too. Sorry, I must have missed that. There it is right there, hiding in the back. And we are going to get another engagement here. Vikings are over, sitting right over top of the cliff. It looks like he gets a few more Tempest shots off here, and he's going to start to push as we're both pretty much maxed out for army counts here. So now we'll be jockeying for position, see what kind of angle they want to get in on, and see where exactly they want to get this engagement happening. Looks like it's going to be at the very middle of the map. Why not? The showdown arena. It is time. We're going to start pushing ourselves in here with full armies. Marine Marauder going to work there. Not doing too bad of a job. It is just going to be force on force. And a little bit of micro down. Now we're going to stutter step those babies. Try and get those Zealot count down a little bit. Archons are going to work. They're getting some shots off on the Vikings. Viking count goes down very, very quickly. Enough Colossi in the background. That's a lot of Colossi. Look at the burning bodies. Wow. Close your eyes, kids. Nexius is starting to take a lead now. It is time to get up here. We have burning bodies everywhere. They're going to continue to push forward here. Nexius might have the push he needs for this game now. He's just going to push ahead. His army count's right up there. It's probably got a much better compilation now than his opponent. Oh, was he about to do the old, I can't remember. It's one of the, whatever you want to call it, the cocky move there. Yes, he is. He's going to drop Nexius all down on this end of the base. Or we're going to see a whole bunch of photon or a couple photon overcharges anyways. There goes the Nexius. I don't know if he feels he has this game as they both kind of backed off each other, but he realizes that he really came out ahead on that engagement here. So the Nexuses are going to go down. Don't know if they're going to be there to absorb hit points or absorb shots. I'd have to imagine that is what they're for. Either that or some sort of offensive GG. I'm not too sure. But we are going to push ourselves down here, see what kind of damage we can do. Going to go work on this simulator. This is a fairly healthy base, so very good job taking this out. That's really going to hurt the opponent. He's going to melt a lot of SCVs here. Just going to work. Opponent doesn't want no piece of this. Nowhere to be found. Very interesting there. Nexuses will actually probably get themselves finished off here. Very, very well done. He's actually going to get a kill on the command center as well. I don't know if the opponent has pretty much given in here. Is he kind of keeping back? He really doesn't have a choice at the same time either. I think Nexius is pretty much taking control, but at the same time he's out back up to 143. So if he reestablishes back to 200, gets the right engagement, he might be all right. But it's tough to deal with a late game Protoss. Once they get their upgrades up there and they get themselves to the highest units, it is very tough to deal with. I think he's going to start to push himself up here. Maybe look for another base up in this area of the map. First time we've seen him on this platform in a little while. Looks like that's what he's going to do here. So he's going to head up here. And this is one of the other healthier bases he has. So he really doesn't want to lose this one. Once he loses this one, his income's going to be next to nothing. And next he's going to go to work. They're going to use the range. Very well done. Colossi and Tempest can outrange a planetary quite easily. That's exactly what they're going to do. Nobody coming over here trying to repair it. Forces the Zealots in there. But we'll get the kill on that planetary quite easily. So it does look like at this point he's got control of this game here, forcing the opponent to kill all these Nexuses before he can even reestablish his base. Now the opponent's income has to be next to 0. Yes, it is. Very close to 0. Then he's going to elect to push over here and try and get this base taken down. Why not? You got your base taken on the other side of the map. You know where your opponent is. Why not start going to work here? Of course, Vikings can't do a whole lot over there. Nexus, in the meantime, he's just going to go down. He's just going to brute force through every one of the bases on the bottom. And that's exactly what's going to happen. It's going to turn into a little bit of a base race, it looks like here. So apparently we're going to go right to a base race here. Opponent's going to continue to move his way up. Next he's going to move himself down, both on opposite ends of the map here. He's going to go to work, take out that base. Nexius in the meantime there, he's going to work himself up towards the middle and down towards the main. So it'll be fairly interesting to see who's going to win this base race. More than likely, out of the buildings that aren't on the other side of the map for the opponent, Nexius should have this unless the opponent elects to go out and start building a bunch of buildings somewhere else on the map. He's going to push himself up here. We'll end up taking out this base. Was pretty much fully mined out anyway, so it's really not going to hurt too much. And Nexius has a very healthy mineral count, 2 gas count as well here. So he's just going to wreak havoc down here. Should easily be able to take this out. Will force his way into the main. Eventually the armies might meet. Opponent is finally realizing this. Has to come back. Has to see what he can do. He's bringing that army back here. Don't know if it's going to be enough. Vikings end up... Oh, Vikings got in there first. But Nexius only has Tempest to deal with him. This might be a little bit of trouble for Nexius. Has nothing else to deal with the... Oh no, he's going to lose a lot of units, these Vikings. This is going to be a lot of trouble for him. All these Tempests end up going... Or all these Tempests will end up going down. There we go. Pretty much 3-shotting these guys here. There's 2, 3, and only one left there. But not much from Marine Marauder Army here. They're going to head themselves over here. Has himself finally another warping of Stalkers to help out here. So it does look like we will get a little bit of engagement here. As he's trying to get in there, has enough Colossi to easily deal with this. Opponent in the meantime there has lost a ton at the other end. He's just in a lot of trouble here. Income just isn't there. Don't know if he's going to be able to come out of this, but does have 900 sitting in the bank, so could build out a lot more Marines with quite a few Marauders. Has 389 gas as well. So Nexus will continue to push this army back here, doing a little bit of stutter step and trying to take out the rest of the Zealots. So really good job there. Now he's forced to engage the Stalkers and will lose the rest of his army quite easily there. But in the meantime there, he has a few Vikings left at the other end, and Nexius really doesn't have a lot, but does have enough Colossi, which should easily be able to deal with this. Of course, might want to get one more warp into Stalkers to help deal with that Viking count. So Nexius will push himself back towards the middle of the map here, and push himself into the opponent. Still has his couple of Nexuses sitting in the middle of the map. Opponent, meanwhile, has nothing mining at this point. Is his income at 0? Yes, it is. So, opponent, out of minerals, out of gas, really has no other choice other to try and engage this army. I don't think there's anything he can do at this point. We can probably speed this baby up a little bit. Might as well get her in 2 times. This is probably going to end up going down. And we are going to push ourselves over here. He's going to try and land this base way up here where he won't be able to, as Nexius has that base wrapped up. So you'll find that out in about 2.5 seconds here as he does fly over top of those bushes. Sees himself that there is a base over there. Nothing he can do there. But let's see what he has over here. Actually, we can slow this down now that we are going to fight. Fairly decent Marine Marauder army, but I don't think it's enough. Way too many Colossi there. Should easily be able to melt this army. You're going to see a lot of burning bodies. SCVs are in there. Why not? Might as well take the brunt of the damage here. But he is actually doing fairly decent. Pushing pretty hard here. Colossi are trying to do as much as they can. Is it going to be enough? He's melting a lot of bodies here. It's going to be very, very close here with that Viking count. Should be able to finish off the last of them. But at the same time, he's got no money left. All he's got is really a few Vikings. Stalker should be able to kind of finish this off, or we'll be very, very close. Try and take out the SCVs. Got a few more Marines and Marauders left here. A couple more warpins by Nexius with the good old Tempest up there. Should be able to finish this off quite easily. Tempest is going to start to go to work here. Try to finish off the last few Vikings. Once those Vikings go down, that should be about it. Yes, it is. GG. Very well done by Nexius. Not too bad of an attempt by Veniar. Just wasn't enough in the end. So I'll give you my congrats, Nexius. My condolences to you, Veniar. And I will leave you with this. If the ground hasn't been lit up yet, you haven't been burning up brush fires out in the bush, then make sure you're not a pyromaniac, especially if you grew up in the woods. You be good. Don't hurt nobody. Peace.